Okay, so you're thinking about switching from Proxmox to RHEL for your home lab.
Interesting.
Yeah, you've got 3 Dell PowerEdge R730 XD servers, which is amazing.
Wow. That's,
It's a lot more than a home lab, that's for sure,
yeah,
like a mini data center.
for sure.
And you can do so much with it, from Kubernetes to nested virtualization and all sorts of cool stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You've been using Proxmox and you know it really well,
Mm-hmm.
but now you're thinking about RHEL for the long-term stability.
Yeah, makes sense.
So we're going to dive into this and try to figure out which is the best choice for your home lab, all right?
Sounds good.
So you're not just choosing between operating systems, you're also choosing a philosophy, right?
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Proxmox is kind of like that trusty multi-tool, like it's versatile and easy to use.
Mm-hmm.
But RHEL is more like a professional workshop.
Yeah,
Like it's powerful and customizable, but maybe a little bit harder to learn.
for sure.
So let's start with what you already know. You've been using Proxmox to manage VMs and containers, and you like the interface.
Yeah, it's very intuitive.
You've got your ZFS mirrors set up, and they're protecting your data on those big drives.
Absolutely. It's important to have that redundancy.
And you're already running a 3-node cluster, so scaling up with Proxmox would be easy.
Makes sense. Yeah.
And you're already using LXC for some of your lightweight workloads.
Yeah, for sure.
Which is a big advantage of Proxmox.
Definitely.
But now here's where it gets interesting.
Okay.
ZFS, it's like the foundation of your data storage right now.
Yeah.
But RHEL doesn't natively support it.
Right.
So that means if you switch to RHEL, you would have to migrate all of your ZFS mirrors on those big drives.
That's a big project.
Yeah, and OpenZFS is available on RHEL,
Mm-hmm.
but it's not going to be as easy as it is with Proxmox.
Yeah, that's true.
So you've really got to think about that trade-off.
Absolutely.
And you know what else is interesting?
What's that?
What if you decide to stick with Proxmox for now, but in the future your storage needs change?
Like, what if you end up using something other than ZFS in the future?
Yeah,
How would that affect your long-term setup?
it's something to consider,
It is. It's like you're trying to predict the future of your home lab.
for sure.
Okay, now let's talk about RHEL.
Okay.
You can't deny that it's got some serious appeal,
Yeah.
like that enterprise-grade stability, 10-plus years of support.
Yeah, it's hard to beat that.
You're looking for something that's rock solid for your home lab.
Right.
And RHEL is like the definition of reliability.
Yeah. It's used in mission-critical environments all over the world.
And don't forget about Ansible.
Oh, yeah.
You love Ansible.
I do.
And RHEL and Ansible, they just go together like peanut butter and jelly.
Absolutely.
So if you go with RHEL, you can use your Ansible skills to automate your entire home lab.
Oh, yeah.
You can automate VM deployments, configurations, everything.
It's the whole infrastructure as code approach.
Exactly.
Very powerful. But here's the question. If you stick with Proxmox, are you going to miss out on opportunities to improve your Ansible skills?
That's a good question.
Right. Just something to think about.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so we've got RHEL, which is all about stability, support, and automation with Ansible.
Right.
But on the other hand, you've got Proxmox, which you're already familiar with, and it's got that great ZFS integration. And you mentioned you're a little bit concerned about Proxmox's shorter support cycle
Yeah, it's only 5 years.
versus like 10 years for RHEL.
Right. Big difference.
And those major upgrades can be disruptive.
That's a valid concern.
But here's something to consider.
Okay.
From what I've heard from the Proxmox community, those upgrades are usually pretty smooth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and with a little planning, it might not be that big of a deal.
Interesting.
So maybe it's not as scary as it seems.
That's good to know.
Yeah, so we've got these 2 strong contenders, both great for home labs,
For sure.
but they're kind of like 2 different philosophies.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that way of looking at it.
Proxmox is all about ease of use and that great ZFS integration. RHEL is all about long-term stability and that deep integration with Ansible.
Right.
So it really comes down to what's most important to you.
Exactly.
And maybe a little bit of crystal ball gazing to see what the future holds for your home lab.
Yeah. Trying to predict what your needs are going to be a few years down the road.
Exactly.
It's tough.
It is tough, but hopefully we can give you enough information to make the best decision for you.
I think so.
All right, so let's take a step back and look at the bigger picture here for a second.
Okay.
This whole Proxmox versus RHEL thing is actually part of a much larger trend in tech.
What do you mean?
Well, on one hand, you've got this push towards making tech easier to use.
Yeah, like with Proxmox.
Exactly.
Making it more accessible to everyone.
Right.
It's like democratizing technology.
Exactly.
Even if you're not a hardcore sysadmin, you can still set up a pretty awesome home lab.
Right. You don't need to be a coding wizard to play in the tech sandbox anymore. Exactly.
But then there's that other side, that pull towards deep control and customization.
Yeah, that's where RHEL shines.
Exactly.
It's like embracing the command line, mastering the inner workings of your system.
It's about becoming like a digital architect.
Yeah, I like that.
You're building your systems from the ground up.
Exactly.
And that's where your Ansible experience comes in.
Mm-hmm.
With RHEL and Ansible, you can manage your Homelab with code.
It's the next level of automation.
And it's not just about automation.
What else is there?
RHEL has all those enterprise-grade features.
Yeah.
They might seem like overkill for a Homelab,
Right.
but they can be amazing learning opportunities.
Oh, yeah.
Like take Linux, for example.
Oh, yeah. Solana's
It's super secure.
very secure.
It's like having a security guard at the door of every process in your system.
That's a good analogy.
Like they're super strict about what's allowed to happen, which is why it's used in all those mission-critical environments.
Right.
You might not need that level of security in your Homelab. Probably not.
But learning how Linux works could give you a big advantage in cybersecurity.
Definitely.
It's like taking a master class in Linux security right in your own home lab.
Yeah, for sure.
And then there's KVM.
Oh yeah, KVM's great.
It's built right into RHEL,
Mhm.
and it's known for being really fast and efficient.
Yeah, especially compared to some other virtualization technologies.
It's a Type 1 hypervisor, which means it runs directly on the hardware,
Right.
so there's no middleman.
And it often squeezes more power out of your system.
Yeah, if you're planning on running resource-heavy workloads in your home lab, like maybe a virtual gaming server or some demanding application,
Yeah,
KVM on RHEL could be a really good option.
for sure.
And we can't forget about RHEL's package management system.
Oh yeah, it's rock solid.
It's all about keeping your software organized and making sure it's installed correctly.
But avoiding those dependency nightmares.
Right. Those can be a pain.
Oh yeah, they can make you want to pull your hair out.
It's like having a really organized librarian for your software packages.
I like that analogy.
Everything is in its right place, properly labeled, and ready to use.
It makes life so much easier.
Now, home labs are like playgrounds for techies, right?
Absolutely.
But choosing between Proxmox and RHEL could really shape your learning journey in different ways.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like Proxmox, with its user-friendly approach,
Mm.
could lead you towards mastering virtualization, containerization, maybe even cloud-related concepts.
That's a good point.
Imagine going from spinning up basic VMs to orchestrating containers like a conductor.
Yeah, that's a cool progression.
And then you've got RHEL with its enterprise-grade DNA. It could pull you deep into the world of Linux system administration,
Oh yeah,
automation, security.
all that good stuff.
Imagine becoming a command line ninja, writing scripts that automate your entire home lab,
Oh yeah, that's the dream.
and understanding those deep security concepts that most people only dream about.
It's like unlocking a whole new level of understanding.
So it's really about choosing a path that aligns with your passions and ambitions.
That's a good way to put it.
Do you want to be a virtualization virtuoso or a Linux systems guru?
Both are awesome options.
They are.
It just depends where your curiosity takes you.
Exactly.
All about the journey.
Okay, so let's get practical for a moment.
Okay.
You've got this awesome home lab.
Yeah.
You're ready to dive into some serious projects.
I am.
But where do you even begin?
It's a good question.
Let's brainstorm some ideas that could really push your skills and make your home lab sing.
I'm game.
Let's start with a classic.
Okay.
Setting up a personal media server.
Oh, yeah, it's a good one.
But not your grandpa's media server.
Okay, so what are we thinking?
We're going to containerize it with Docker.
Nice.
Maybe even integrate it with a smart home system.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's next level.
So you could control your lights, your thermostat, even your media playback, all from one interface.
That would be awesome.
We could even throw in voice control using Alexa or Google Assistant.
Even better.
And to add a layer of security and remote access, we could set up a VPN server.
Smart.
So you could stream your favorite movies from anywhere in the world.
Securely and seamlessly.
Exactly. I like it.
Okay, so that's one project.
All right. What else you got?
How about a home lab monitoring and alerting system?
Okay.
But we're not just going to use some off-the-shelf solution.
So what are we going to do?
We're going to build it ourselves using Prometheus and Grafana.
Whoa.
Talk about a learning experience.
Yeah, that's serious.
You'd be building your own mission control center for your home lab.
That's awesome.
You'd become a master of system metrics, data visualization, and creating alerts.
You know exactly what's going on in your home lab at all times.
Exactly.
I'm in.
Okay, so that's 2 projects.
All right, what's number 3?
For our final project idea, let's get our hands dirty with networking.
Ooh, I like where this is going.
Imagine setting up a software-defined networking environment.
SDN.
That's the future of networking.
It is.
It's all about flexibility and programmability.
Exactly.
You can create virtual networks, define policies, control traffic like a conductor.
You'd be taking your networking skills to a whole new level.
For sure.
And you'd be preparing yourself for the world of automated, agile networks.
Absolutely.
Okay, so we've got our 3 projects.
Lay it on me.
The tricked-out media server, the custom monitoring system,
Yeah.
and the SDN playground.
Awesome.
Pretty awesome, right?
Very awesome.
But now comes the real challenge,
What's that?
actually making it happen.
Yeah. That's always the hard part.
It's one thing to dream up these cool projects.
Right.
It's another thing to actually roll up your sleeves and make them a reality.
For sure.
So what's your advice for someone who's ready to take the plunge?
Okay, well, first things first, you got to define your why.
Your why?
Yeah, why are you doing this project? What do you want to learn? What outcome are you hoping for?
So you gotta have a clear goal in mind.
Yep.
It's like setting your compass before you embark on a journey.
I like that analogy.
You need to know where you're headed.
Absolutely.
And once you know where you're going, you need to break down the project into smaller steps.
Yeah, trying to tackle everything at once can be super overwhelming.
It's much easier to focus on one step at a time.
For sure.
And then you can celebrate those small victories and keep that momentum going.
And don't forget to document everything.
Oh, yeah, documentation is key.
Write down your steps, your configurations, any challenges you encounter.
It's like leaving breadcrumbs for your future self.
Trust me, you'll thank yourself later.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey.
Oh yeah, the Homelab community is super supportive.
There are tons of people out there who are eager to share their knowledge and experience.
Don't hesitate to reach out to online forums, communities, even local meetups.
And most importantly, embrace the learning process.
That's what it's all about.
Homelab projects are all about experimentation and discovery. There will be challenges, setbacks, maybe even a few moments of frustration.
Oh yeah, you gotta be prepared for that.
But it's all part of the fun.
Absolutely.
Those oops moments often lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
And the most valuable lessons.
So don't be afraid to make mistakes, to try new things, and to push the boundaries of what you thought was possible.
That's how you learn and grow.
Exactly.
And most importantly, have fun.
Yes,
Home labs are playgrounds for tech enthusiasts.
they are.
So enjoy the process, embrace the challenge, and let your passion guide you.
Well said. Okay, we've covered a lot of ground.
We have.
But I want to bring it back to this Proxmox versus RHEL decision.
Okay.
It's not just about the tech.
What else is there?
There's a whole psychological layer to consider.
Oh yeah, that's
Like there's the comfort of familiarity.
Mm-hmm.
You've been using Proxmox, you know it really well.
Right.
Switching to RHEL would be like stepping outside your comfort zone.
Yeah, venturing into uncharted territory.
It's like switching from your favorite comfy chair to a brand new ergonomic chair.
Okay.
It might be better for you in the long run,
Yeah,
but it takes some getting used to.
for sure.
And then there's the whole identity thing.
What do you mean?
People often identify with the tools they use.
Oh yeah,
You've been a Proxmox person for a while now.
right.
Switching to RHEL might feel like you're changing teams, joining a different tribe.
That's an interesting way to look at it.
And let's not forget about the fear of judgment.
Oh yeah.
What will other Homelab enthusiasts think if you ditch the user-friendly Proxmox for the more serious RHEL?
I see what you mean.
It's like switching from a casual gaming group to a hardcore esports team.
Will you fit in?
Yeah,
Will you be accepted?
exactly.
It's natural to want to be part of a community.
Right, to feel like you belong.
But at the end of the day, the decision is yours.
Absolutely.
And it's about recognizing that there's no right answer. It's about finding the platform that aligns best with your personal values, your aspirations, your unique way of learning and interacting with technology.
It's about giving yourself permission to explore, to experiment, and to even change your mind along the way.
The journey is just as important as the destination.
Now, I want to leave you with one final thought.
Okay.
A challenge, really.
All right. I'm listening.
We've talked about the technical side of this Proxmox versus RHEL decision.
Mm-hmm.
The practical, the psychological, even the philosophical.
Yeah, we've covered a lot of ground.
But there's one dimension we haven't fully explored.
And what's that?
The personal one.
Oh, okay.
The dimension of self-discovery, of understanding what truly excites you and fuels your passion for technology.
I like that.
So here's the challenge.
Okay, hit me with it.
Don't choose a platform based on what you think you should do
Nope.
or what everyone else is doing.
Right.
Choose the platform that resonates with you,
Okay.
the one that sparks your curiosity and makes you want to learn more.
I see what you're saying.
The platform that feels like an extension of yourself,
Mm.
a tool that empowers you to create, explore, and push your own boundaries.
Because that's what home labs are all about.
Exactly.
Turning your passion into reality one project at a time.
Well said, and that's exactly what we're going to do in our next 2 segments.
Oh yeah, we've got some fun projects lined up.
We do. We're going to dive into some really cool home lab projects that will help you take your skills to the next level.
I can't wait.
Me neither.
This is going to be fun.
So stay tuned, folks.
We'll be right back after a short break.
It's kind of like this whole Proxmox versus RHEL thing. It's a reflection of a bigger trend in tech.
Yeah, how so?
Well, you've got this drive towards making tech super user-friendly.
Like we were talking about with Proxmox.
Exactly.
Making powerful tools accessible to more people.
Yeah, it's like everyone can play in the tech sandbox now, even if you're not a hardcore sysadmin, you know?
I like that, democratizing technology.
Right, but then there's this pull towards deep control and customization, you know?
Yeah.
Like where RHEL shines.
Yeah, like you really want to get under the hood and tinker.
Exactly. It's about mastering the system, becoming a digital architect.
Yeah, and that's where your Ansible experience comes in.
Right. RHEL and Ansible, they just go together, you know?
Oh yeah, they're like peanut butter and jelly.
And with RHEL, you can really take your automation skills to the next level, like you're managing your home lab with code.
That's pretty powerful.
And RHEL is not just about automation, it's also got all those enterprise-grade features.
Right.
And they might seem like overkill for a home lab, but they can be amazing learning opportunities, you know?
Yeah, for sure. Like what kind of stuff?
Well, take Linux, for example.
Oh yeah, Linux. That's a whole other beast.
It's like having a security guard for every process in your system. Super strict about what's allowed to happen.
Yeah, that's why it's used in mission-critical situations, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And you might not need that level of security in your home lab.
Probably not, no.
But learning how Linux works, that's a serious edge in cybersecurity.
Did that about it.
It's like a masterclass in Linux security right there in your home lab.
That's a good way to put it.
And then there's KVM, built right into RHEL.
KVM's great. I've heard good things about its performance.
Yeah, it's known for being super efficient, especially compared to other virtualization technologies.
It's a Type 1 hypervisor, right?
Yeah, which means it runs directly on the hardware, no middleman.
So it can squeeze more power out of the system.
Exactly. So if you're thinking about running those resource-heavy workloads,
Like what kind of workloads are we talking about?
maybe a virtual gaming server or some demanding application,
Ah, I see.
KVM on RHEL could be a real game changer.
That makes sense.
And let's not forget about RHEL's package management system.
Oh yeah, that's rock solid.
It's all about keeping your software organized, making sure everything's installed correctly.
And avoiding those dependency nightmares. Those can be a real headache.
It's like having a super meticulous librarian for your software packages.
I like that analogy.
Everything's in its place, labeled properly, and ready to go.
Makes life a lot easier.
Now, home labs are basically playgrounds for techies, right?
Oh yeah. They're where we get to experiment and have some fun.
But choosing between Proxmox and RHEL, that could actually shape your learning journey in different ways.
That's interesting. How so?
Well, think about it. Proxmox, with its user-friendly design, it might lead you towards mastering virtualization,
Yeah.
containerization, even cloud-related concepts.
So you're thinking like a natural progression.
Exactly. Like you start with spinning up basic VMs, and then you're orchestrating containers like a conductor.
That's a cool image.
And then there's RHEL with its enterprise-grade DNA.
That's a whole different ballgame.
It could pull you into the depths of Linux system administration.
Oh yeah, the command line, the scripts, the whole 9 yards.
Exactly. You could become a command line ninja.
That's the dream.
Writing scripts that automate your entire home lab, understanding those deep security concepts. Sounds intimidating, but exciting at the same time. It is. It's like unlocking a whole new level of understanding.
I could see that.
So it's really about choosing a path that aligns with your passions, you know? What are you excited about?
What gets you fired up?
Exactly. Do you want to be a virtualization virtuoso
Okay.
or a Linux systems guru?
Tough choices.
They are.
But both are awesome paths. It just depends on where your curiosity takes you.
Couldn't have said it better myself. So let's get practical for a moment.
Okay, let's do it.
You've got this awesome home lab, right?
It's ready to go.
You're fired up to dive into some serious projects.
Absolutely. But where do we even begin? So many possibilities.
That's what we're going to brainstorm right now. Let's come up with some ideas that'll really push your skills and make your home lab sing.
Right, I'm game. Hit me with your best shot.
All right, let's start with a classic, a personal media server.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. Everyone loves a good media server.
But not your grandpa's media server. Okay,
Yeah.
we're going to take it to the next level.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What are we thinking?
We're going to containerize it with Docker,
Nice, nice.
maybe even integrate it with a smart home system.
Whoa, now you're talking. That's next level.
So you could control your lights, your thermostat, even your media playback, all from one sleek interface.
That would be awesome.
And we could even throw in voice control using Alexa or Google Assistant.
Make it even smarter. I like it.
And for security and remote access, we'll set up a VPN server.
That's a must-have these days.
So you could stream your favorite movies from anywhere in the world securely and seamlessly.
Sign me up. That sounds like an awesome project. What else we got?
Okay, how about a Homelab monitoring and alerting system?
Okay, keeping an eye on things,
Okay,
making
right.
sure everything's running smoothly. Important stuff.
But we're not just going to use some off-the-shelf
We're
solution.
going to build it ourselves, right? Got to keep things interesting.
Exactly. We're going to build it using Prometheus and Grafana.
Whoa, okay, now we're talking serious business. That's a real learning experience.
It is. It is. You'd be building your own mission control center for your home lab.
That's so cool. You'd know exactly what's going on at all times.
You'd become a master of system metrics, data visualization, and crafting those perfect alerts.
So you'd be alerted if something goes wrong.
Exactly. You'd be on top of it.
I'm in. That sounds like an amazing project.
Yeah.
What's our third challenge?
For our final project idea, let's get our hands dirty with networking.
Ooh, networking. Always a fun one.
Imagine setting up a software-defined networking environment. SDN.
SDN, that's the future of networking, right?
Yeah.
All about flexibility and programmability.
Exactly. You could create virtual networks, define policies, control traffic like a digital conductor.
Wow, that's taking networking to a whole new level.
Yeah.
You'd be like a network wizard.
You'd be taking your networking skills to the next level, preparing for the world of automated agile networks.
This is awesome. So we've got our 3 projects, tricked out media server, custom monitoring system, and the SDN playground.
Sounds like a plan, right?
It does. But now comes the hard part, actually making it all happen.
That's where the real fun begins. You've got this great plan, you're excited, you're ready to dive in. But where do you even start?
Yeah, that's always the question, isn't it? How do you turn those grand visions into reality?
That's what we're here to help you with.
Guidance is always appreciated.
So first things first, you got to define your why.
Your why. What do you mean by that?
Why are you doing this project? What do you want to learn? What outcome are you hoping for?
Ah, I see. It's about having a clear goal in mind, knowing your purpose.
Exactly. It's like setting your compass before you embark on a journey. Got to know where you're headed.
Makes sense. You don't want to just wander aimlessly in the wilderness.
And once you know your why, you got to break down that big project into smaller, manageable steps.
Yeah, trying to tackle everything at once can be super overwhelming.
It's way easier to focus on one step at a time, celebrate those small victories, and keep that momentum going.
Small wins lead to big wins. And don't forget to document everything along the way.
Documentation is key. It's like leaving breadcrumbs for your future self.
Trust me, you'll thank yourself later, especially when you're trying to troubleshoot something months down the line.
And remember, you're not alone on this journey.
Yeah, the Homelab community is amazing.
Tons of people out there who are eager to share their knowledge and experience.
Don't hesitate to reach out to online forums, communities, even local meetups if you can find them.
Absolutely. And most importantly, embrace the learning process.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. It's not always about getting things perfect the first time.
Homelab projects are all about experimentation and discovery, you know?
There will be challenges, there will be setbacks, maybe even a few moments of frustration.
But those oops moments, they often lead to the biggest breakthroughs.
And the most valuable lessons. So don't be afraid to make mistakes, try new things, and push those boundaries.
That's how you grow, right?
Absolutely. And most importantly, have fun.
Yes. Home labs are supposed to be fun.
They're playgrounds for tech enthusiasts. So enjoy the process, embrace the challenge, and let your passion be your guide.
Well said. We've covered a lot of ground today, haven't we?
We have, from Proxmox to RHEL, from Linux to SDN, and everything in between.
But I want to bring it back to this Proxmox versus RHEL decision for a moment.
Okay, back to the main event.
Because it's not just about the tech, you know?
There's more to it.
There's a whole psychological layer to consider as well. Like, think about the comfort of familiarity.
Ah, I see. You've been using Proxmox, you know it like the back of your hand.
Exactly. Switching to RHEL, that's like stepping outside of that comfort zone, venturing into uncharted territory.
It can be a little intimidating, for sure.
It's like switching from your favorite comfy chair to a brand new ergonomic chair, you know?
I get the analogy.
It might be better for you in the long run, but it takes some getting used to.
Yeah, got to break it in a little bit.
And then there's the whole identity thing,
What
right?
do you mean by that?
Yeah. Like people often identify with the tools they use. You've been a Proxmox person for a while now.
Right, right.
Switching to RHEL might feel like you're changing teams, joining a different tribe.
Interesting way to think about it. Like, it's more than just a technical choice.
It is. It is. And let's not forget about the fear of judgment.
Oh, yeah, that's a real thing.
Like, what will other Homelab enthusiasts think if you ditch the user-friendly Proxmox for the more serious RHEL?
I see your point. Will they think I'm trying to be too cool for school?
Right. It's like switching from a casual gaming group to a hardcore esports team.
Will I fit in? Will I be accepted?
Exactly, exactly. But here's the thing. It's your Homelab, your journey.
Right. Got to do what feels right for you.
It's about recognizing that there's no right answer. It's about finding the platform that aligns best with your values.
Your aspirations, your unique way of learning.
And giving yourself permission to explore, experiment, and even change your mind along the way.
Because the journey is just as important as the destination.
I love that. Okay, now I want to leave you with one final thought, a challenge, really.
Okay, hit me with it. I'm ready for a challenge.
We've talked about the technical side of this Proxmox versus RHEL decision, the practical, the psychological, even the philosophical.
We've covered a lot of ground.
But there's one dimension we haven't fully explored,
Okay, I'm curious. What is it?
the personal
The
dimension.
personal dimension.
The dimension of self-discovery, of understanding what truly excites you and fuels your passion for technology.
I like that, getting to the heart of it.
So here's the challenge. Don't choose a platform based on what you think you should do
Okay,
or what everyone else is doing.
got it. So, what should I base my decision on?
Choose the platform that resonates with you, the one that sparks your curiosity, the one that makes you want to learn more,
The one that feels right, intuitively.
the one that feels like an extension of yourself, a tool that empowers you to create, explore, and push your own boundaries.
Because ultimately, that's what home labs are all about, right?
Exactly.
Turning your passion into reality, one project at a time.
Beautifully said. And on that note, I think we're ready for a short break.
Yeah, let's take a breather and come back refreshed and ready to tackle those awesome home lab projects we talked about.
Sounds like a plan. We'll be right back after the break. It's kind of wild how this whole Proxmox versus RHEL thing kind of mirrors a bigger dilemma in tech, you know?
What do you mean?
Like, it's this whole thing about user-friendliness versus raw power.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Everywhere you look, there's this push to make tech super intuitive and accessible to anyone.
Yeah, like you don't need to be a coding whiz to use it.
Right. Like, hey, come on in. The water's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is awesome. It's like opening up the world of tech to a wider audience.
You could democratizing technology.
Exactly. But then there's that other side, right? That desire to really tinker and customize, to have complete control over your tech.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like that's the spirit of a true maker.
It is. It's about understanding how things work under the hood, pushing boundaries, making the tech dance to your tune.
It's about having options.
And both sides are totally valid. It's not about one being better than the other. It's about finding what fits you.
Yeah, what works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. And honestly, that sweet spot can change as you learn and grow.
Oh yeah, for sure. Your needs evolve, your interests change, and suddenly you're drawn to different tools and approaches.
It's all part of the journey, right?
Exactly.
And in your home lab, this whole debate plays out perfectly in the Proxmox versus RHEL choice.
Yeah, I see that.
Proxmox, with its user-friendly design, is all about accessibility.
Yeah, it's like jump right in, the water's fine.
Exactly. Perfect for getting things up and running quickly, focusing on your projects, not wrestling with complex setups.
It gets you to the fun part faster.
Right. But RHEL, on the other hand, that's where power and control take center stage.
It's more like, here's the toolbox,
Yeah.
build whatever masterpiece you can imagine.
Exactly. It's for those who really crave customization, who love the challenge of mastering a complex system.
It's about crafting a truly bespoke home lab environment.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with this. Go beyond the specs and the features. Think about what truly excites you about technology.
What gets you fired up? What makes you want to spend hours tinkering in your home lab?
Exactly. What kind of home lab journey do you envision for yourself?
It's your playground. Make it what you want it to be.
Choose the platform that speaks to your inner techie, the one that makes you want to roll up your sleeves and dive
The
in.
one that makes you want to make some magic happen.
Because at the end of the day, a home lab is a playground for your passion. So embrace the challenge, have fun, and remember, the most rewarding discoveries often happen when you dare to explore.
Happy tinkering.
And that's it for this episode of The Deep Dive. We hope you enjoyed our exploration of Proxmox and RHEL for home labs.
Be sure to check back next week for more exciting deep dives into the world of technology.
Until then, keep on learning, keep on building, and keep on diving deep.